What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF up here, and I'm coming to you with another work/life update. So today, luckily, I didn't have to work at the at Pizza Planet tonight, I should say, and that's because I got tonight off because I am going to a birthday dinner for my grandmother and my older sister, who turned, let's see, 89, so she is 31 years old today. So happy 31st birthday to my older sister, and I will see her tonight. They don't know. My grandma knows and my wife knows, but my sister has no idea that I'm going to be there tonight. And because I told them I had to work at Pizza Planet from 5 to 10 tonight, so, or 5 to 11 was my scheduled day today. But I'm excited because I will be going to dinner at Cheddar's. It's gonna be at Cheddar's today. And so I am just now leaving PetSmart, and for Jerry, I hope the crackling sound, I know what you're talking about. It comes and goes, like it's not consistent. Like it'll do it for like one installment, and then it'll stop for like 3 or 4, and then it'll start up again. So hopefully the sound that makes you feel like that you're inside of a coffee maker, hopefully that sound goes bye-bye. If not, then I guess I'll just have to tweak this again, and we'll try again tomorrow. So I worked at the deli this morning, and they had me on cashier again today, which I like being on the register more than I like making the sandwiches and or running the food. Because you get, like, you're pretty much the first person. You're the one that's going to make the first impression when they walk through that door. So if I am the one that makes them have, okay, let's see, it might be shaking again. So, hold on a second. It's probably going to shake, Jerry. I'm sorry. It's the best I can do for now, but it's shaking right now. So if I'm the first one that makes the impression of the restaurant when they get there, aces, you know, because I always have a positive attitude. Even when they are pains in the neck, I still have a positive attitude when it comes to the customers. And pretty much like they shove shit in your mouth and you just smile and say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" So that's if they're annoying. If they're good people in general, then obviously, you know, good vibes matches good vibes for me. But if they have a negative vibe, then I'll still have a good vibe. Like yesterday with the lady that had a very complicated order, but she redeemed herself by giving me a $3 tip randomly. Today, nothing really happened as much. I did forget to say that yesterday I actually served the mayor of Dimmitt, Texas, and his wife. Dimmitt is a small town outside of Hereford, Texas, which is a small town here in the Texas Panhandle. And I was like, "Oh, Dimmitt." I said, "I got this is before I knew." They just said that they were from Dimmitt. They didn't tell me anything about their credentials or anything. They're just like, "Oh, we don't get to come to the big city very often." I'm like, "Well, I have grandparents that live in Panhandle, and they call Amarillo the big city." And it's like, "Is it though?" And of course, yeah, she laughed. But I was like, "Yeah, I got my first and only speeding ticket in Dimmitt, Texas." And he looked at me and said, "Good." I was like, "Good." And of course his wife started laughing, and she's like, "He's the mayor." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, glad you got a speeding ticket in Dimmitt. We could use the money," you know, just joking around. And I was like, "Well, it's my first and only speeding ticket, and I paid it in full and everything." But that was kind of funny. If you guys want to hear that story, I will definitely tell you guys that story another time. Actually, I can tell you right now. I'll just tell you right now. It's not that long of a story. So at the time I was dating my wife, we were only together I think less than a year, less than like 6 months even, and I went to Portales for the weekend, which is where she lived, and I was coming back home because I believe I had a class that night or something like that. And so I was trying to get home, you know, and unpack and, you know, freshen up and then go to class. But I was speeding. I was doing a 85 and a 75, which usually in Texas is okay. You know, Texas, we don't really care. You know, you pretty much, you go at the speed of traffic. And but for some reason he decided to stop me, and it was weird because I had my music cranked all the way up. This was back when I had my Pontiac, the Phantom Stranger, so I had the music cranked all the way up, and I didn't even notice, man. I was just driving and driving and driving, and then I just for some reason looked in my rear view and I saw red blue lights flashing, and this was like late morning, early afternoon, and I knew he got me because I saw him coming this way as I was going that way, and I was like looking at my speed, and I was like, well, I'm actually kind of speeding. If this guy wanted to pull me over, he could, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just listening to my music, jamming out, singing the words to every song that I knew. And I think that's a Nickelback lyric, sing the words to every song we know. But anyway, and I looked at my rear view, and there he was. It was a Dimmitt police officer. So I, of course, pulled over, and this was the Phantom Stranger, and only the driver window would roll down. The passenger window wouldn't. And since we were going up against traffic, when I pulled over, he came to the passenger side, and he's tapping to roll down my window, and I was like, it won't roll down. I felt like the guy from Super Troopers. It won't roll down, sir. It won't roll down. So he opens the door, and he's like, license and registration. And I had my expired registration. I'll be like, I swear to God, I have the legit one at home. I promise I have it at home. And he's like, well, where's home? And I was like, Amarillo, sir. Like, just like, I'm just totally cooperating, just totally doing what this guy's asking me to do. And he takes my expired one. He's like, okay, I'll take your word for it. And I gave him my driver's license, and he was like, you know how fast you were going? And I was like, well, I don't want to admit guilt. You don't do that. You don't admit guilt. So I was like, no, sir, I really don't know how fast I was going. He's like, I clocked you going 85 and a 75. I was like, oh, I am so sorry. Even though I had cruise control on, I was like, I am so sorry, officer. And he's like, well, I'm gonna have to write you a ticket. Just hold on a minute. And I was like, damn. So of course I'm sitting in my driver's seat. I'm like, God, how much is this gonna cost? This is ridiculous. At the time, I was just, I think I was still working at Jimmy John's at the time, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to afford this. And he gave me the ticket. It was like a $250. I think a $250 ticket is how much it was. And he's like, you need to pay this amount by this date, or you can come back into town and fight it and see the judge and yada yada yada. And I was like, ugh, whatever. So I paid it, but that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I was just like, ugh. It's my first and only speeding ticket that I've ever gotten, and I actually kind of like watch my speed everywhere I go now, because I was like, damn, that's not worth it. 10 miles per hour over the speed limit is not worth $250. So I'm like, yeah, 5, maybe 6 or 7 is probably the best that I can do. But that 3 to 5 range, usually you're good, you're okay. So if the speed limit's 75 and you're going like 71, or 81, that's a splitting hairs at that point. But if you're going like 77, they don't care. There's no whatever. Just do what you got to do. Especially if it's the speed of traffic, and which I was doing. I was going the speed of traffic because the semi truck that was right next to me, because I was in the fast lane, obviously, because I was going fast. The semi truck and I were keeping pace with each other, and then I looked at my review and I'm like, oh, there we go. There's a cop. Whoops. So that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, so there's that story. But today nothing really interesting happened. I just served a bunch of people. I got there at 11:30 and I left at like 2:30. So yeah, some people might say that that's not even worth it. I mean, who knows? But anyway, and then as soon as I got off, I went to see my wife up at the flower shop she works at, and I brought her a Diet Coke, and I was hungry, so I stopped at Sonic, and it was during happy hour, so I was like, yeah, I'll just get her a drink and I'll get me something to eat, and everybody's a winner. So, oh, sorry, I keep doing that and it keeps flashing. That's terrible. I apologize. The sun is setting. It is 5:35 right now, so bam. So, sorry guys, I had to do it one more time. So I went up there and ate and hung out with her for a bit while she was working, and then as I was leaving, she was like, could you do me the biggest favor And I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I'm tired, but yeah, let's go for it. She was like, could you, because she's leaving for Albuquerque tomorrow to go pick up my father-in-law to help for Valentine's Day at her shop. And she was like, could you get a car wash and vacuum the car out and everything and get me some smell good stuff? And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that. So I did. And I got her a car freshener that's like tropical rain or something like that, I think is what it's called. They're the Febreze little things. And then I got me one that was one of my favorites since when I had my old car. I got me the Midnight Storm is what I got. It smells fantastic. And especially when I was delivering pizzas in the springtime for Pizza Planet the last time, I was just like, oh, for some reason this brings back just good memories of me working the last time I worked at Pizza Planet delivering pizzas. And I did that, and then she was like, she said something about dog beds, that we needed to get dog beds for the dogs for their kennels. And I was like, okay, well, I can do that. She's like, no. She's like, you're tired, you work 2 jobs, you deserve to go home and shower and take a break. And I'm like, I do, but if I can get this done in one fall swoop, then I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. I said, just let me do stuff, is what I told her. I said, just let me do stuff. So I went to PetSmart and got 2 pet beds. They're called cuddlers, which is the definition of both of my dogs, Ami and Chandler. So I was like, well, that's a good name for them. And they're little beds that are going to fit inside their kennels. And then she's like, you know what? While you're at it, since we're taking Chandler to your grandma's, she's like, you just want to get him a smaller cage to put him in when he's over at grandma's? I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. So I got a cage and 2 dog beds. So there we go. And so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Church 5. Okay, sorry, that I switched gears really quickly there. Church 5 is up and running today. It launched. So this is the official playlist for 2020 that I created, even though there are songs that range from like the 60s all the way to current. 60s, 70s all the way to current. Lots of 80s, lots of 70s and 80s and 90s. And in 2000, 2010s, and then the 2020. Actually, I don't think I have a song from 2020 yet. I think the newest one I have is from last year, and that was Ozzy Osbourne's Under the Graveyard. So that's probably the newest song that I have on there. But that's neither here nor there. So I launched that today at 10 a.m. and hope you guys are enjoying it. Hope there are going to be some people that are going to listen to it. The challenge that I posed to y'all is if you listen to Church 5. Whoa, sorry about that. I'm at a turn here. I said if you did listen to Church 5, tell me if you put it on shuffle, what's the first song that comes up? What do you think of the songs? Do you think it has a good mix? Do you think it has way too much of this genre or lacking this much in this genre? Words. You know, just let me know. And so far, I've got nothing, but I mean, I'm sure something will come up eventually. And then tomorrow, it looks like tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing the Dallas Cowboys fantasy draft because you guys have voted for it, and that's what it's looking like it's going to be. And then after the fact, I think Chris and I'm going to try to talk him into it because he wants to play tonight, but I got plans. Because after we eat dinner, my sister wants us to go over to her place for game night, which means probably Uno and maybe Yahtzee. So can't wait to do that. And house rules, yes, you can put more than one draw 2 or draw 4 on top of each other. That's how it goes. That's the house rules. We like pain, a little bit of pain with our family card games. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to probably tell Chris, like, hey, is it cool if we can do it tomorrow night? And he'll probably say yes, because my wife's going out of town, and I think Bailey, his fiance, is out of town. So there's that. So maybe we can do something tomorrow instead. So probably be live streaming Friday the 13th with Chris. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, because I think the Cowboys draft is going to take probably less than an hour to do. So I'll probably start that about 6:30 or 7. The earlier the better, and we'll see what happens there. And then we'll just go from there. And then Chris and I'll probably hop on probably take like a 30-minute break, and Chris and I will probably hop on and play. Probably, I don't know what his plans are. He might be hanging out with some of his other buddies. And if that happens, then I'll probably just live stream Friday the 13th for you guys and just hang out. Or do one of the other things that you guys voted on, either Uncharted or the Rock Band set list. And Jerry also asked me if I play any instruments. No, not really. The closest thing that I have played is thanks to Rocksmith. I am able to play a few songs on bass. Just literally, I could probably be like an opening act for some club band here in town on the bass, and people probably wouldn't even notice if I played, the wrong note or anything like that. But the songs that I can play are, I can do Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard on bass. I can do Tonight Tonight by Smashing Pumpkins. I can do Disarm by the Smashing Pumpkins. I can do Heaven's on Fire by Kiss. And Savior by, I forgot the name of the band. Oh, that's going to drive me crazy. It's a good band. The song that kills me not to know this, but I've all just forgotten what the color of my eyes were. God, it's gonna kill me because I don't know. I know their name, but that irks me a bit. I can't even remember the name of the band, man. That's gonna drive me crazy. But anyway, I can play Savior because Savior literally is. There's like, how's it go? It's like, like just it's pretty much like the just lather, rinse, repeat, pretty much the entire song. So I could play a few songs on bass. I was at one point I knew how to play Seven Nation Army, but because that's one of the easiest songs. That's probably one of the easiest songs to learn on the bass. But yeah, I could play moderately okay a few songs. But if I sat down and studied it, I probably could play some really killer tracks on the bass. But on Rock Band, I also play the bass guitar. So during the live stream of Rock Band, if that's what I choose to do tomorrow night after the draft, then I will be playing bass probably by myself. So buckle up. Hope you guys are interested. And I play on expert. I'm not gonna toot my own horn. I'm pretty good at Rock Band on expert bass. There are a few songs that are my bugaboos, like Dream Genie. No, not the David Bowie song, but there's a song on Rock Band 4 called Dream Genie, and that song, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver by Primus, can't do it. Chop Suey, rather not. But pretty much, I can play pretty much anything on bass, even Through the Fire and Flames, even though it kills me halfway through the song, because it's pretty much just you just pretty much strum up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until you get carpal tunnel in your left toe, because that's how intense that song is. So anyway, there's a guy on a motorcycle jamming out, dude. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about that. I know this is like the Forrest Gump episode. That's all I have to say about that. Jerry also was saying that me ruining chicken and dumplings is not okay with just 50-cent corn dogs, but it's 50-cent corn, two 50-cent corn dogs, pretty much I split a large fry with her and a Diet Coke, which she drinks. That's her drink. So she is always happy when I bring her a Diet Coke to work. So, and then she told me last night, she said, okay, so I'm just going to ride your ass for one day about it, and then I'm going to get over it. So far today, she hasn't mentioned anything about it. I'm sure if somebody brings it up at dinner tonight, she'll say something. But anyway, and I think this is the longest work/life update vlog that I've done. That's great. But yeah, and then this morning I worked on another one of my logos that like I showed you guys the full moon waffles, the one of the products for the Huskies. So I got the full moon waffles. I got Doggo wireless. I think I need to put a little bit of finishing touches on that logo, and it'll be ready, and I'll show that to you guys when it's done. But right now I'm working on a dog food brand called it's called Avalanche, and the slogan for Avalanche is like I can't even remember. I had the slogan last night and this morning, but I completely forgot it. It's like Avalanche. Oh crap! It had something to do with avalanches, obviously. But anyway, so that's I'll figure something out. I'll figure out something that sounds good on that note. All right, guys. So I am pretty much almost home. I am exhausted, as y'all could probably tell. It's been a long week. It has. It's been a grind this week, and I'm glad that I have to just work these this last morning shift tomorrow. That's all I have to work the rest of the week, and I'm happy. And then this is kind of fitting. Tell me this isn't fitting. So the deli has me off on Tuesday, and Tuesday is the day that I'm releasing sick day. So that's kind of fitting. That they never give me Tuesdays off. So I chalk this one up as just an absolute win, because they're giving me Tuesdays off, or they gave me this Tuesday off, and that's when I was going to release sick day. So that's very fitting. I kind of got a chuckle when I saw my schedule and saw that. So anyway, guys, I'm home. Thank y'all so much. This is the longest one I've done, almost 22 minutes. It's going to be over 22 minutes by the time I'm done. And just thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember my little piglets. Call him Pork Chop. Loves y'all the mostest. Y'all take it easy, guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys!